Well, hey, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Today I want to do an in-depth review on the Savage Model 12, which is what this is, Savage Model 12. And if you watch my channel, I talked about this rifle a little bit about a week ago, but now I've had a chance to put about 50 rounds through it, and I've spent a lot of time reloading, and I have a lot to go over today. So maybe you were possibly interested in buying a Savage, or you just were curious about the accuracy, or what does Savage have to offer? How are their internals? I'm going to talk all about this company, and I absolutely love Savage. I think they are a great alternative to a Remington 700 or something like that. And often they're more affordable or possibly better quality in some areas. I know Remingtons have had trigger issues over the years, and Savage have wonderful triggers. So that's just one thing I can say. But let me just go ahead and break it down, you guys. This here is a Savage Model 12. This is in 308 Winchester, and I bought this one just in the last month, and I talked about it briefly in that other video. I actually had a BSA Platinum scope on it in that video, and I was torn if I should leave that scope on there or not. But if you recognize this scope, this is a very nice scope. It's a Japanese scope. It's actually the scope is a SWFA Super Sniper scope, and this particular one's a 10 power by 42 millimeter with the full mil dot with all the little reticles and has the focal adjustment right here and here. Very clear. This is actually, if you don't know anything about SWFA, is a military contract. This particular scope was a military contract scope that SWFA bought out the licensing to, and they eliminated the middleman, and it just goes straight to you. When you get this box scope, it comes in a white box. Uh, you're getting $300 a scope. That's what these go for when they're in stock. They're kind of hard to find. They always go out of stock, but you can always find them on eBay, which is where I got this one, and got a good deal on it too. Uh, I paid 285 for this on eBay, and it came with two bubble levels and the rings. So I thought that was an outstanding buy. It was brand new. Somebody bought it, just never put it on their gun, and then decided to sell it. So it's a great scope. I mean, the turrets on this are solid. You guys really do some research on the SWFA Super Sniper scope. If you're looking for the best scope you could get for probably under $500, this is it. And I sincerely mean that, you guys. I have a lot of rifles with a lot of scopes. Uh, don't take my word for it. Do some research, but nice scope. Now back to the rifle. This is has the Cho-8 machine tool stock on it. This thing's heavy, you guys. It's probably 13 or 14 pounds. Harris bipod. Uh, Boy, let me tell you one thing. I've never had a bubble level before. I balanced this on a stack of newspapers pretty much. I had a level on the side, perpendicular, on the side of this stock, and I was leveling the bubble when it was a job getting the rifle, the scope, and the bubble all true leveled, but they're true. It's perfect. I spent like 4 hours doing that job and using blue Loctite and tightening those 12 screws and torquing them down really tight without stripping anything. When I was younger, I used to would tighten stuff so much I'd strip it, but I'd say once I'd ruined a few, I kind of felt about where it was at, and now I tighten them hand tight, but I don't overdo it. And luckily, this one has so many bolts. These mounts are also SWFA uh, Super Sniper mounts. They're aluminum, but they're so big that's not an issue. Normally, I use steel mounts, but uh, in this case, these are plenty strong. So this rifle, it's fully free floated. It's solid. Uh, it's a stainless. I think it's a 25-inch barrel. It could be 26. It's 25 or 26. 308 Winchester. One of the things I want to say, the factory ammo that I shot through this, I'll just go ahead and show you. This stuff right here is what I found was best, just from your general store. just the Federal, this military stuff. This was getting 1 1/4 inch groups, no problem with this rifle. And I saved my brass, and you guys, I'm going to talk about reloading in this video too. This is my complete experience, just whatever I can impart to you about long range shooting, sighting in a rifle, uh, scopes, mounts. You want to do it right. And you want to use blue Loctite, you know, thread lock. Uh, you want to properly torque your screws. You do the crisscross pattern. Uh, Make sure it's level. Make sure it's level, because if you do it wrong, you're going to do it again. It's not something you rush. Uh, the bubble level is another animal. It's the first time I've ever put one of these on a rifle. And the whole purpose of that is if you're shooting 600 yards and your gun's canted, then the scope's canted. Now, most people would see that their crosshair isn't canted, but say you're on top of a ridge line and it looks level because your head's down, who knows? The bubble level doesn't lie. It's going to make sure that you're true. And I can see it just fine, but you guys might not be able to. It's just a little bubble level. It'll make sure that you're true, because if you're canted, now at 100 yards, that might only be a few inches, but 500 or 600 yards, that could be, you know, it could be maybe 2 or 3 yards. So that's the point there. You completely miss your target if you were shooting off. But Savage. Now I owned a Model 12 FV when I graduated high school. That was just what I could afford back then. And I remember this rifle here. This is a Model 12 as well. Uh, this is more a Target model. It has and it's in the stainless. Real heavy gun. And this thing here is just wonderful. This is actually what I wanted back then, but couldn't afford. And when this came up on one of my favorite websites, guns.com, I made an offer and they accepted. So I absolutely love that site. And it said that, when I bought it, it was in the used market, but they said few rounds through it. And this gun has probably been shot less than 100 times. And this Saturday and last Saturday, you guys, I was out at the range shooting. I probably put about 50 or 60 rounds through it at this point. And I'll just set it down for a minute. I'm going to show you guys. Now, I had some old Norinco China Sport. This stuff didn't do well at all. I mean, I was getting 2.5, 3 inch groups with that. This Monarch that was purchased at an Academy Sports in Texas, this was getting me about an inch and a half groups. So this wasn't bad at all for the money, but you can't reload steel case. So I will say both of these, this is a copper wash, if you know what that is. It's a steel case too. Both of these, often when I would shoot, I'd go to extract it, move the bolt up, and it was kind of tight, and just bolt guns don't like steel cased ammo. But the only reason to use this stuff is because it's cheap. You're not going to find this anymore. This is kind of a classic or something now. They don't import Chinese ammo, and now Russian ammo is being banned from import. But there might be a chance that this Monarch is somehow made in Serbia. I'm not really sure. Actually, it says right here, made in Russia, right on the back. So I thought I had a guy told me that, well, possibly some of it. I know a lot of ammo is PPU, Privy Partisan. There's lots of other manufacturers. So with the new Russian sanctions, it's going to be a problem getting steel case. But for a gun like this, these 308, in this case 7.62 by 51, it's a little less power than 308 Win. These are outstanding. These right here. So this is the brass I was reloading from, and I tried a bunch of 308 180 grain from Winchester, and you see 150 grain because after I shot the 180 grains, I made some reloads, and I'm going to talk about reloading today. Here are my reloads, and these are with a 150 grain full metal jacket boat tail by Hornady, and I'm using Winchester 748 ball powder, bought at a local sporting goods store, with just large rifle primers. And you guys, I I don't have a bench press loader. That's another thing I want to make a point about. I'll probably have one day. I just don't at the moment. But if you guys only knew, I've probably made probably 120 rounds, 6 boxes of these just from reloads of brass that I've saved. And it's not hard to do. Uh, for instance, you buy your bullets. I'm down here in my box. In this case, I was using Hornady. Here are those 30 cal, 150 grain, full metal jacket. And you just buy your bullets. And right now, they're not cheap. 100 bullets cost me $29. But that's not bad because you can make 5 boxes of standard ammo. I mean, these are reloads, but you get the idea. Because normally this costs you $25 a box or so. So to get 100 bullets for 29 bucks, and you can see what I paid for my powder, $32. So for $60, I'm pretty much making around 100 rounds. Now the problem right now is primers. Large rifle primers are not cheap and they're scarce. So I did the math. I mean, if I'm buying it from the store, it's about $1.07 or $1.20 a shot. If I'm reloading it myself, it comes out to around 60 cents. So that's the savings by doing this. But not only that, you're actually making more precision ammunition, and I'll get into that. Uh, I mean, you can buy a little scale, you can weigh your powder, but these little Lee loaders, let me go ahead. Now, my grandfather led me onto this, you guys, when I was young. Uh, for instance, here's one in the 308 Winchester, this little reloading kit right here. And they have all complete guide to powders, to loads, uh, bullet construction. But pretty much you get your spent case, you tap out the old primer with a couple tools here, and then you resize the neck and this die here with a little mallet. I use a mallet with a soft head on it like this. And then you can, from that stage, you can prime it. There's actually a priming tool in here. Uh, that's one step. If you do this a lot, it's better to buy a little priming device. This here will press a primer into the back of the case on a 308. It also works for 38 Special and 357 Magnum, so that's kind of added value there. And then from there, you can, after you prime it, you've resized the neck, you actually put the little funnel on there, and there you follow the instructions, but you just take the little powder scoop. I take a credit card and level off the scoop after shaking it a few times, and you just pour your powder in, and then you seat your bullet on top, and there's read the instructions carefully because once that case is primed, they use this little piece so nothing touches the primer while you're seating the bullet into the case. But after resizing the neck, it grips it, and that's it. And it's real easy, you guys, to sit down. Like I could make 100 rounds in about 2.5 hours. That more than enough time for me to make 100 rounds just sitting around watching a movie on Saturday, which is fine because my average range trip, at most I would shoot 40 rounds, which is what was in this box. I shot 3 of them and just stuck a little paper towel in there so it would hold its place. But of course, these are brand new rounds, but you get the idea. So 2.5 hours, that's like 2 trips to the range. And I'm getting handmade, hand-loaded ammunition. You're not going to get sometimes if a person is using a powder, uh, one of the little reloading presses, there have been cases where it did not release any powder, so then you get a squib. If you get that's pretty much when you're just your primer fires and the bullet lodges itself in the barrel and your subsequent shot blows up the gun from a barrel obstruction. Now that's a real danger, but you're not going to get that um, hand loading if you're careful and you take your time. So there's some real benefits to this. And you guys, these are cheap. They're like, I think you can get a 223 one for like 35 bucks on Amazon right now, and the 308 is a little bit more. It's like 60, but it'll come back down. It's just at the moment people are getting these things. But these are nice. Absolutely no issues with this. I have I have them in 38 and 357 Magnum. I've reloaded 30-30, and that's about it. I think all the other ammos I've purchased, but I wouldn't mind getting into 223 if I need to, because I shoot a lot of 223. So, but let me just say, it's a good, save your brass, which is pretty much what I was doing with this. These are the 180 grain brass from the Winchester, and now they're reloaded with 150 grain Hornady with the. Now I used to use this powder, Reloader 15. That's a good powder for 308, and now I've started using this stuff. And this actually was a little bit more accurate today when I was out shooting. I was getting my reloads were getting me on average. On average, I'd get two in the same hole and then one about an inch apart. So if I had kept sitting there and shooting, I would have had them all in the same hole. I probably only shot 20 rounds today, but I was on average getting 1 inch to 1 1/4 inch groups using this powder with this bullet with a large rifle primer. And if you ask me how many grains of powder, I was probably using about 47 grains. So that's probably putting me at like 2,890 feet per second or something like that, maybe 2,900. Uh, I'm a little bit on the hotter side for 308, but that's what I like. I never had any signs of overpressure. You read your brass when it comes out of the gun, so if you see overpressure signs, cases that are sticking, it's not extracting easy, you got to pay attention to that because that kind of it's a telltale sign that you're shooting a hot load. So so that's pretty much the ammo that I've been messing with right now. Uh, and like I said, it's not hard to make. You can throw on your favorite movie and sit back and just get a big wooden cutting board and a little mallet and just start making them. It's it's pretty easy, you guys, and it'll cut your cost in half if you shoot a lot. And not only that, you're getting handmade precision ammo. But make sure you do it uh, you do it carefully, because if you fail to put gunpowder or fail to seat your primer in right, or there could be problems. And worst case scenario, you failed to put powder and you got a squib and you blew your gun up with the next shot. So I've heard people tell me stuff like this all the time. So make sure you take your time, be free of distractions, but reloading is very easy. And I'm sure there's a ton of videos on YouTube about people using these little hand loaders. But back to the Savage. This Savage, ammunition's a big part of shooting, you guys, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. This is that Shoei tough stock. I did put a couple Jenga blocks under here, one on each side. There was little reservoirs, and tighten it down just to raise that up that 1/4 inch right there. And that helps me with it's the perfect eye level right now when my cheek's on there. So yeah, I love the scope. I really had no reason to replace that BSA Platinum. I'll probably be selling it on eBay. It worked just fine. I don't trust BSA, so I never will. It's just, eh, eh, you know, I just want something I can count on a little more. My favorite brands are Leupold, Burris, Zeiss. I've had some good luck with True Glow Nexus. Anyways, Simmons used to, some of the older Japanese scopes were really good. So it just depends. You know, I love Weaver, the steel tube Weaver K6s and K10s. There's good scopes out there, you guys, but spend your money on good glass, because that's important, and they'll pass from rifle to rifle too. A scope like this is full lifetime warranted. So I did use a one-piece rail on top. Loctited everything in, torqued it pretty much as hard as I can without stripping that out. It's never coming off. But when I get the right load for this gun, or if I decide to spend a little bit more money and get some fancy 308, this gun here is very capable of probably half or quarter MOA. But that's just my experience, you guys, and I'm shooting 100 yards. That's just my typical range. This gun will have no problem going out to 600 yards. But and I could easily dial it in on the scope too with a little ballistic calculator. But I just don't have a range like that at the moment. So I'll have to make a trip for that someday because it would be a lot of fun to shoot at that range. So, well, you guys, if you have any questions or if you're curious, I can totally recommend the Savage. These are very nice guns, you guys. It's all solid metal. I mean, they don't cut out on quality anywhere. If you squeeze the trigger and push down on that, your bolt will come out. You know, Savage is very sturdy, solid stainless, everything here. Uh, the triggers are great. They're actually fully adjustable. This trigger gets down to probably 1 pound or less. It's really, really light. And you have that AccuTrigger, so you can feel a piece of metal before you actually get to the trigger. So that kind of protects against accidental misfires if you're out in the field and you just want to feel the trigger, but not quite, feel it enough to fire, if you know what I mean. But nice gun, solid. But this thing's weighty. It's not a hunting gun, and it could be. Depends on your style of hunting. But I'll show you the 308 rifle that I use for hunting, or one of them. Uh, if you're looking for something to run and gun or hike with, then this Mauser M18. This is one of the new Mausers. I have one of those True Glow Nexus scopes on here, and I got some Simmons Australian mounts that are solid still, and they just fit this gun perfectly. So yeah, this is a 4x14 by 44 millimeter. It's a True Glow Nexus, but this scope has been great. They're about $180, and they've been really good scopes in my case. But you're not going to be dialing in anything on here. It's more of a hunting rifle. But one thing I'll say about these new Mauser M18s, the bolt, that's it. It's like a 60-degree bolt throw. So I mean it, but these modern guns are plastic, and it's not a cheap rifle. These are like $650 or something, but this is an accurate gun. This pretty much puts them all in the same hole at 100 yards. I use the 180 grains with this for hunting. I like that bigger bullet. This is one of my whitetail guns right here. But this is also a very nice gun, 3-position safety. But the Savage is definitely nicer than this, just for the sheer fact that Mauser decided to use a plastic trigger and a polymer. Some of the trigger housing components are polymer on the inside, and that just that never sat right with me. But the rifle was so accurate and it had such a nice bolt that I kept it. And it's a lightweight gun, you guys. I can really take this into the trees, hike around, and it's a good shooter. But it has its limitations. It's never going to be as stable as that Savage. The barrel's not as thick. You're going to get a different vibration. Barrel's not as long, but they actually say made in Germany. Mauser M18 made in Germany, and you can see the Mauser right up here. So it's kind of neat, but yeah, it's a great company still. It's just a more modern gun. This is just how they make them now. So I like the old Mausers better, of course, if you watch my channel. But for hunting, this is much more accurate than the older Mausers. Yeah, with an older Mauser, I'm getting 1.5 to 2 MOA, and this thing here is capable of half MOA with the right ammo. And that Savage, I'm sure, is capable of quarter MOA once I figure it out. It hasn't been shot much, and that's a beautiful barrel on it. So, you guys, this is just my thoughts. And if you've actually watched this video this long, I want to share a passage with you. This is a Christian channel, and this is a good passage. It's from the book of Galatians. I'm in the King James here. Somebody out here needs to hear this today. Galatians chapter 2, verse 16. knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by faith of Jesus Christ. Even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by faith of Christ, and not by works of the law. For by works of the law shall no flesh be justified. But if while seeking to be justified by faith, we ourselves also are found to be sinners, is therefore Christ the minister of sin? God forbid. For if I build again that which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto God. I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. That's a really beautiful passage right there. We're not justified by works of the law. The law made nothing perfect. So Christ came, he fulfilled the law. But in faith, seeking to be justified by Christ, we live in faith. We have a covering. We're justified by our faith in Christ. But we're not tearing down, the works of righteousness, of trying, endeavoring to keep the law. It's just we're not justified by it. We still aren't stealing and killing and coveting and committing adultery and all those terrible things, obviously. There's no justification in fully doing that. It came only by faith in Christ. But we're not tearing down that which was good. It's just that which was good was not good enough. Christ did it all for us. So then, therefore, we're living not according to dead works of the law seeking justification, but by faith in Jesus Christ, because it was finished. And now we live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. So hopefully that helps somebody out there. You guys, like, comment, subscribe. Uh, if you're curious about, uh, anything that you saw in this video, just ask me a question. I try to respond to them as quick as I can. So I have been busy lately. I have other reviews and other guns to cover here in the future. I've just been working a lot. But you guys stay blessed, and until next time, thank you.